Back at it live here from Studio A to downtown Wenatchee. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is on the air on this 14th day of June 2018. It's a Thursday. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. Steve Hare, our news director to my immediate left. Kat, as always, in control. And we're ready for a good show for you today. That's what we're going to plan on anyway, a good show. We'll certainly do better than we did yesterday. We'll leave it at that. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Did you do something wrong yesterday?
I went back. I try not to go back and look at old shows, to critique myself. I used to do it all the time. As soon as the show was over, I'd go look at it, and then, boy, I blew that, that kind of stuff. Normally, I was just beating myself up for how lousy the show was, so I quit doing it. But now I'm kind of getting back into it, because apparently we're supposed to, prepare and stuff like that. So you're prepared. You always come ready to go. So
very well prepared.
Yeah, I do. It takes a little work to put the show together. It does. We don't guarantee a super duper show because that's just silly. But we do our very best. We bear down. We got some good stuff for you today.
I think so. And Caitlin will wrap it up in a big, pretty bow for us here.
Yeah. And if you don't know, by the way, this show is live from 7 to 8. And then we replay the show from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. And for you night owls, we air it again from 11 to midnight each weeknight. Yeah, we do. Yeah, from 11 to midnight. It's also available, of course, on our website. It takes us a couple hours to get it up and running. And now it's on our Facebook page as well. So you have all kinds of opportunities to tune into this show and go, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
You do that a lot. You'll notice the American flag. It is Flag Day. We'll talk about that when we get to the obscure holiday. There's nothing obscure about it, as you might imagine. We have sports. The Mariners sweep the Angels.
What do you think?
They're playing
Are
good
they
baseball.
for real?
Yeah, I think they are.
I think so too.
I think they are. So
these one-run ball games, I guess, they're kind of leading the league in one-run wins this year.
Yes.
But yeah, and they've got some great play by some of their players right now. Mitch Haniger.
Yeah. And now the two teams that next up on the agenda for the Mariners are the two teams with the best records in baseball. The Red Sox are in town, and then they're off to Yankee Stadium to take on the Yankees next week. So big group of games coming up for the Seattle Mariners.
Fun to see them winning again, though.
Yeah, it is. It's fun to see. It's been so long. It's been so long. Pet of the Week with Megan McPherson will come your way because it's Thursday. We also have Everyone is Entitled to Mike McNally's Opinion. Today in history, sports, we got birthdays. And my guest in the second half of the show, Ed Payne from the Golfer's Edge. It's been a watershed couple of weeks for Ed Payne. He has pulled up stakes and moved his operations to the Highlander.
Nice.
And we'll talk about Ed. We'll also talk about the U.S. Open, which is underway now at Shinnecock Hills on Long Island. We'll talk a little U.S. Open golf and all kinds of cool stuff.
I got my recorder all set to go.
Do you? Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Yeah, the U.S. Open is my favorite golf tournament of all of them. Nothing against the Masters or all the other iconic golf tournaments, but the U.S. Open is my favorite because it's the Open. If you're good enough, you can play in it. You don't need a special invitation. You don't have to be a pro. You just have to be good. That's all there is to it.
I don't count among the majors as my favorite. My favorite is the Pebble Beach.
Oh yeah, the old Crosby Clambake
favorite.
Yeah. Now the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am is what it's called now. I actually had a chance to play Pebble Beach.
Did you?
It was $118 back in February of 1985, and I shot a 118. It was $1 a stroke.
Tough course?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It ate me alive, but it was so fun. It's Pebble Beach. If you're a golfer, you got to play it at least once.
Oh well, yeah. Scoring well is secondary to that walk in the park. I'll tell you.
Yeah. It's a beautiful golf course.
17-mile drive.
Yeah. It's lovely. Ooh. It's just incredible. It's 4 after the hour. Let's take you around to Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. All of these, of course, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet network, which means you can live out in the middle of nowhere, but as long as you can physically see one of our 45 or 50 towers all over the area, you can get high-speed internet.
See a little breeze there, kind of rippling the water of the Columbia. Hey, your forecast came out true yesterday with a gusty condition.
Yeah, it did. It got windy. In fact, it's kind of strange real quickly. Yesterday's high, Wednesday's high was 76 degrees, Steve, which is actually below normal. But the odd thing is it happened at 11:53 in the morning. And then it quit warming up. That was it. It climbed up to 76, and then from 11:53 all the way till sunset, it never got warmer than 76. That's kind of a strange weather phenomenon, but it happens. Good morning, Wenatchee. Good morning, East Wenatchee. Good morning, Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for starting your day with us here on the NCW Live channel. Camera 2, as decided by Kat, is another trip to Cougar Ridge. You can see the Omi Gardens complex there to the right. Of course, we had Robert Sandidge on yesterday talking about the Omi Gardens Summer Concert Series, which gets underway next month on that beautiful venue. I haven't been to Omi Gardens this year. I went a couple times last year. It's just such a beautiful area. I just love it up there. So good morning, everybody in the north part of town, Sunny Slope and Badger Mountain and what have
We
you.
got a light volume of traffic there at the Highway 297 interchange, huh?
Camera 3, Kat says, let's slowly dissolve and say what's going on at Stamen Flats. Stamen Flats, US 97A is at the very bottom of your screen. You can see a little bit of the ribbon there, the Columbia River. Most, of course, is what you see there is Douglas County. Stamen Flats is decision-making time when you're heading up to the lake. Do I take a left and go up Navarre Coulee and dump myself off at the state park, or do I go up through the Knapsail Tunnel and pop myself into Chelan that way? That is Stamen Flats, of course, named after the legendary billiard player, Minnesota Stamen. And camera number 4, what do we got? Kat says, let's see what's going on at Lake Chelan. I want to say Nobbs Hill, Upper Butte.
Green Knob?
I'm sorry,
Greens
Kat,
Knob?
I missed that.
Greens,
Oh, Greens Knob, that is Greens Knob. Okay, looking down towards Manson. So Greens Knob is the last of these series of Sky-Fi dishes and cameras and stuff as you go up the lake. Much more rustic and much more rural in that part of Lake Chelan as opposed to, you know, when you get down closer to Chelan proper.
we're getting up into the Alps now.
Yeah. And so there we go from around north central Washington with our high definition cameras. And 6 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service, your forecast. Things going to be a bit unsettled. Today is perfect. I mean, lots of sunshine, no real wind, Steve. Northwest wind about 9 to 10 miles an hour. That's it. High today of 74, which is below normal. Our normal high would be 78, so it's going to be cooler than normal because it's cool out right now. With the cold front. We still have some cold air from that cold front that came by yesterday, and it's hanging around.
50s right now? Or?
54,
Yeah.
54 outside of our studio. So there's your forecast. Fairly clear skies on Friday. Most of the day anyway. Looks pretty good. High of about 78. Friday night, it's going to cloud up a little bit. We'll call it partly cloudy skies. We should be dry. We're not expecting any rain or any significant weather events for Friday night for the commencement exercises at Wenatchee Valley College, which is outdoors at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Looks like Mother Nature is going to cooperate there. We will have it, of course, live here on this television station if you can't make it out Friday night. Saturday, a small little system rolls in, not real dramatic. The big story Saturday, we don't show it there, is the wind. It's going to be windy again on Saturday, but then here comes the heat. It's been a long time coming. It starts on Sunday, and the high pressure ridge will begin to build up and get stronger and get centered right over north central Washington. And all of next week, starting Monday, Steve, and really they're saying all the way through next week, continued sunny and very hot. It's going to go from 87 to 91 to 92 to 95, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're up for a long stretch of sunny and hot weather beginning next week, which ironically enough is the beginning of summer.
Hey, I'm sure that they'll have a great day of bluegrass music today and tomorrow up at the...
It starts on Friday.
well, actually, in the parking lot, it
Yeah,
started
oh, yeah.
3 days ago, I think so.
Yeah, they've been partying up there for the Wenatchee River Bluegrass Festival. Huge, huge event. And the weather's going to be perfect for that in Kashmir. We're looking forward to that. It's 8 minutes after the hour. There's a lot of news to get to, some sad news to get to. Steve Hare is going to fill your head full of the information you need to know to get your Thursday going. So grab a cup of coffee and join us in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
You can buy fruit almost anywhere. From first off the tree to first in your hands, Lone Pine offers seasonal fruit from their farm and around the region every day. Make Lone Pine your latte stop with coffee from Blue Star Coffee Roasters and a fresh piece of fruit pie. Take a break with a friend and order a cold microbeer or a glass of Northwest wine. Bring the whole family and enjoy a Lone Pine lunch or a fresh shake in their park-like setting. Lone Pine Fruit and Espresso on Highway 97.
I wish we had something cool for the kids to do this summer. I feel like we've just done it all.
Have you heard about the 100 Days of Summer at the Rack? The kids can take a dive with swim team, challenge themselves with karate and junior workouts. It's games galore playing tennis and pickleball. No need to choose. They can try it all with the Rack Summer Multi-Sport Camps. There's fun for you too. Get fit with group fitness or work on that tan by the pool. The Rack has something for the whole family. Find all the details at WRAC.org and do your 100 Days of Summer at the Rack, where we play every day.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
And here's what's going on around north central Washington on this Thursday, June 14th. First of all, a fatal accident yesterday. An industrial accident at Rock Island Dam claimed the life of a Chelan County PUD employee. Now, the PUD reports in a news release this morning that during crane testing, the 40-year-old worker was struck by a piece of steel from the spillway structure. As seen here at the dam, co-workers provided immediate first aid until emergency medical help arrived. First responders, however, unfortunately were unable to revive the man. Now, the accident is under investigation. More information will be available when there's a better understanding of what actually happened. Thursday, today, is a day of mourning at Chelan County PUD. Grief counselors are being called in to talk with employees affected by the tragic news. The name of the victim has not yet been formally released, but we do know that he is a Wenatchee resident. We'll have more information as it develops on that tragic accident yesterday at Rock Island Dam. Also, firefighters on the Soap Lake fire completed line construction. They were successful yesterday keeping that fire within its established perimeter. It was tested. Strong afternoon gusty winds tested the fire lines, but they reportedly held up well. Crews continue to be demobilized throughout the day, and the rest are scheduled to leave today. Now, the fire, which started on June 11th, has burned over 2,000 acres. It's now 90% contained with no new growth. That's good news. Highway 17, by the way, has reopened, and all evacuation advisories were lifted yesterday. Meanwhile, early yesterday morning, Kittitas County search and rescue volunteers were called in to assist with the rescue of an injured hiker in the Teanaway area. The woman from Duval was apparently hiking with her friend on the Bean Creek Trail in the Teanaway near Esmeralda Basin. Now, while hiking, the Duval woman reportedly fell and possibly broke her ankle. The injured woman was located a mile up the trail. She was transported out on a wheeled litter by Kittitas Search and Rescue volunteers. She was later transported by private vehicle to Kittitas County Hospital. The name was not released. Also, a driver involved in a one-vehicle crash in the Orondo area Tuesday night was seriously injured when he was ejected onto the roadway. Orondo Fire, Chelan Fire Rescue, Ballard Ambulance, and Douglas County Sheriff responded to the crash on Brays Loop Road above Sun Cove just after 6:30 Tuesday evening. The Orondo Firefighters Association reports on their Facebook page that emergency crews found the vehicle overturned in the eastbound ditch. In fact, they also provided these images from the scene of that accident. The driver had been ejected during the crash and was found some distance from the vehicle. He was treated at the scene for life-threatening injuries and then transported to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee for treatment. However, his condition is unknown. Cherry harvest is poised to get underway soon, but growers' concerns about a possible labor shortage could spell trouble for the industry again this season. Now, Chelan County Commissioner Doug England, who also manages the Manson Fruit Growers Co-op, said the shortage will mostly impact smaller farms that don't employ migrant pickers with federal H-2A work visas.
It's a popular program, but it's very complicated and it's very expensive. There are a number of growers right now that are very concerned. We've been able to use a little bit growers that are workers that have come in for the cherry harvest, and they just came in a little early. But there are a number of people from that are finding now that their crews from California are not going to be coming up. Some of their Washington crews are not going to be coming over from the other side. And so there is a concern with the small growers for that maybe third of the workforce that they really need to have. We found it hindered us a lot this last harvest. There's an estimated 5,000 people in the basin right now doing nothing but cutting fire blight. But they've notified people that as soon as cherries start, which will be in earnest this next week, that they will be leaving them. And so that's going to be put added pressure on. So it's, I wouldn't say it's adequate. The job is getting done, but not as fast as people would like to see. So there will be a lot of unthinned orchards. We hope that doesn't carry over to harvest.
And that from our interview with the Chelan County Commissioners earlier this week. Meanwhile, the county's state-run cherry worker tent camp at Monitor is starting to fill up as the cherry harvest is expected to kick into full gear in the Wenatchee area this next week. Also, construction well underway right now at the new $80 million state-of-the-art high school in Quincy. In an exclusive NCW Live interview, Quincy School District Superintendent John Boyd tells us more about the project.
About 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we went out to the voters and passed a $108 million bond. We're able to add some state match to that for $120 million worth of projects. And one of the projects in that scope of work is a brand new high school. So it's an $80 million state-of-the-art high school that we're exactly 1 year from cutting the ribbon on. So it's really exciting to see where we've come from, the support of the community, and how everything is coming together.
Now, the total price tag of the project, $120 million, and it's all a part, apparently, of the reconfiguration of the Quincy School District, according to Boyd.
There's more, because we're not only building a high school, we're remodeling our existing junior high, which is our historical building, into a brand new elementary school. And then we are going to reconfigure our whole district. So we're going to not just build buildings, but we're going to change the configuration of our schools, change our boundaries, move from a junior high model to a middle school model. And so it's a big needed shift that will help us reconfigure all of our grade levels for learning. And so all of that, and with a brand new high school as the cherry on top, is going to be super exciting for the Quincy community.
Now, along with the state-of-the-art gymnasium, the new Quincy High School will also feature a 550-seat performing arts center and should be completed by the beginning of the school year next year. Finally, Washington State Department of Natural Resources continues to monitor ground movement in the area of Rattlesnake Ridge in Yakima County. They're using drone technology now to better measure the unstable slopes there.
My name is Mike with the Geologic Survey, and right now we're flying a UAS operations. So we have a UAV up, and it's going out, it's taking a bunch of captured images in a series, and so later we stitch those together with a computer algorithm, and it creates a 3D model with all the points on the ground. What that allows us to do is, over time, we can take these various images that have been taken at different points in time, and we can follow the progress of what's going on with the land and the surface features. So we can watch how, say, fractures and gaps grow, and we can also watch which direction the land's moving, and then make calculations based off of that for volume, distance, speed. And it all comes from the little guy in the sky, just flying around taking a bunch of still photos and a whole lot of computing power.
And again, thanks to the DNR for providing us with that dramatic video. The crack, by the way, was first observed in October. It's now grown to about 20 acres in size. Yakima County and the city of Union Gap have declared the disaster. There's no imminent threat of collapse there. Rattlesnake Ridge forms the eastern side of a gap in ridges that separate the upper and lower Yakima valleys. Lying in the gap are Thorpe Road, I-82, the Yakima River, Burlington-Santa Fe Railroad track, and Highway 97. So obviously some threatened areas down there, but sounds like they've got a good gauge on what's happening, and at least they'll have an early warning system if it should go.
Yeah. 20 minutes after the hour on this Thursday, the 14th day of June on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz. Still to come, sports, by the way. Mariners won again. Apple Sox kind of hit a rough spot. They're having a difficult time down in Oregon. We got all the results from that. We actually have Mariner highlights for once because the game is available only on Facebook. They're doing every Major League Baseball team will have at least one game this year that will be only available to watch on Facebook. And because it was a Facebook broadcast yesterday, the Mariners and the Angels, the matinee that they played at the Safe, we were able to get highlights.
And I don't know if it's in your sports report this morning, but apparently this Seattle sports world lost a prominent figure yesterday.
Yes,
Donovan.
Donovan, who coached the Storm to their only WNBA title back in 2004, passed away of heart failure at the age of 58.
Yeah.
Also won an Olympic gold medal, and I think she's in the Basketball Hall of Fame, the Naismith Hall of Fame. I believe.
And Donovan.
So, speaking of the news, we'll have news for you tonight, too, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, those are your 3 chances to check out what happened on this Thursday with our nightly newscast. And if you can't watch it during those times, it's available to you on our Facebook page and also on our website at ncwlife.com. We're constantly populating our Facebook page and our website, so bookmark it and check in on it on a regular basis. And that's also a tool that you, our viewers, can use to get a hold of us. Steve, you want to do the honors?
Yeah, just go online to our website. You can contact us there by clicking on that little tab at the top of the page. You can also contact us by email at news@ncwlife.com. Also, social media available always with Facebook and Twitter. You can always post a comment there. And as we have our breaking news hotline. If you see news happening out there in the Wenatchee area or anywhere in north central Washington, call us at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295.
2 housekeeping items we need to mention. First of all, my guest in the second part of the show is Ed Payne. My good friend Ed Payne from the Golfer's Edge, who has a new home up there at the Highlander. We'll talk about the move from just right down the street from our studios to up to the Highlander Golf Course and all that good stuff with Ed. We'll also talk a little bit about the U.S. Open, which is underway right now on Long Island. We'll talk about that with Ed.
Who are you picking?
And also, I like Ricky Fowler.
You like Ricky?
He's my guy. Yep.
Okay.
I'm in a fantasy golfer league kind of thing where you pick your top 5 and it's a point system and that kind of stuff. And you always pick guys who make the cut.
Right.
Because if your guys don't make the cut, you're out of the door
You're out
right
of it.
off the top. So it's a pretty neat little deal. I like Ricky. So we'll talk golf with Ed Payne. And friendly reminder, we got more commencement exercises coming your way tonight. We'll be broadcasting live from the Wenatchee Convention Center, the graduation ceremonies for West Side High School. That'll come your way tonight. And then tomorrow night, the commencement exercises for Wenatchee Valley College will be broadcast live here from Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. We have a busy weekend coming our way. We really do. 23 minutes after the hour, sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on LocalTel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. The Wenatchee River Bluegrass Festival is happening June 15th to June 17th at the Chelan County Expo Center in Kashmir. Kickstart your summer with the music of superstar bluegrass bands. Joe Harris Basketball Camp is June 15th to June 16th in Chelan. Camp instruction will feature current professional player Joe Harris and top collegiate athletes from the Pacific Northwest. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
And welcome back. 24 minutes after the hour on this Thursday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Sunshine, 55 degrees outside of our studio. Sunshine all day today. Nice light breeze and a high of 74, which is just a little on the cool side for the middle of June. Sports, Wenatchee Apple Sox ran into a 6th inning buzzsaw last night in Corvallis. They lost to the Knights. The final was 12-3, the Les Schwab scoreboard on your screen. Corvallis batters hit 2 triples and 3 doubles. They scored 6 runs in the 6th inning to go on for the victory. Steen Fredrickson takes the loss for Wenatchee. He falls to 0-1 on the year. He allowed 5 runs, 9 hits, and 4 1/3 innings. Joey Magro had a nice night at the plate for the Apple Sox. He went 3 for 4 with a run. 2 teams will play the rubber match of the series tonight, 6:35. Sam Wong will start for Wenatchee. Corvallis will go with Daniel Slominski. As we check the Les Schwab scoreboard from the rest of the West Coast League from last night. Dutton Elski went 2 for 5 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Cowlitz got by Port Angeles. The final was 7-5. Nick Nastrini struck out 7 over 6 innings of 1-run ball. Bellingham knocked off Ben. The final there is 3-1. Jordan Aiken pitched 8 strong innings. He allowed just 1 run on 7 hits, and Victoria was held in check. Kelowna knocks off Victoria. Jory Cooper continues to provide power for the Pickles. With his 3rd home run of the season, a 3-run shot in a 5-run 5th, Portland popped the Pippins of Yakima Valley 8-3. Eric just loves to write sports. Jack Philby, normally he's a pitcher for the Sweets. Last night for Walla Walla, he started at shortstop because he's got a good bat. He went 2 for 4 at the plate with a double and a couple of RBIs. Walla Walla in a non-league game, 6-4 victory. On the West Coast League's schedule tonight, Wenatchee, of course, is at Corvallis. Bellingham is at Bend. Kelowna will host Victoria. Yakima Valley is at Portland. And Highline is at Cowlitz in a non-league game. How sweep it is! With apologies to Jackie Gleason, the Seattle Mariners sweep the Angels with an 8-6 walk-off win yesterday at Safeco Field. As we mentioned before, the game is only available on Facebook, so we have highlights. Enjoy.
Go to the bottom of the 3rd. The Angels make a pitching change, so Garrett Richards no longer in the game, and Noe Ramirez in from the bullpen.
That ball's crushed. Left field and deep and gone above the scoreboard beyond both bullpens. Nelson Cruz was 16th. D. Gordon and Seattle's bench fired up.
Yeah, we really do have a good thing going on here, and it's driven by those 2 guys. D. Gordon and Gene been the catalyst, kind of the energy guys for us here over the last few weeks, really the last few months. They have been awesome. It's been fun to watch.
Nolan Fontana is the batter. Since he came in for Cozart, he's been up twice with 2 strikeouts.
Montana gets into that one, drives it to left and deep and off the top of the wall and gone. And Nolan Fontana with his glove and now his bat has changed this game. He starts the double play that keeps it tied and then unties it with an opposite field home run.
That brings up Chris Young.
Here's the next pitch. This one is hit well into left center field. Chasing after it is Span. It's carrying and it's out of here. Chris Young has homered. A pair of them in the inning for the Angels, and the Angels have a 6-4 lead.
D. Gordon at first base, nobody out, bottom of the 7th inning.
The set and the pitch. Swing, and it's looped into shallow right field. It dunks in, base hit. Gordon to second. He makes a turn. This ball rolls just in front of the track. Gordon's being waved home. He rounds 3rd. Kinsler's throw to the plate. The tag. He slides. He is safe. And Segura stands up at 3rd. And the Mariners are within a run. D. Gordon tearing around the bags, scoring all the way from first base.
Here's first baseman Ryan Healy. He can tie up the game with a swing of the bat.
To left. Ryan Healy has tied this game. Upper tank.
Holy smokes! His 13th home run of the year. What a shot by Healy, and we've got ourselves a brand new ball game. Mariners are having some fun here at Safeco Field all season long, and they're on their feet. Game tied at 6-6. A lot of the fans are on their feet, bundled up in jackets. Some brought their umbrellas, waiting for the possibility of the rain. It is here.
Haniger to left. That ball's deep. That ball's gone. Ball game. Seattle walks it off and sweeps the Angels. And Mitch Haniger has done it again. In the rain, the Mariners have swept the Angels.
Yeah, how about that? Haniger, 2 for 5 with that big 2-run shot for the victory. Gene Segura went 3 for 5, had a run, as you saw, RBI. And believe it or not, Roenis Elias is back with the Mariners. He pitched the final 2 innings, and he gets the victory. Coming to town, the Red Sox. Boston, big 4-game series. First pitch at 7:10 tonight. Felix Hernandez and David Price will do battle. Let's see what the Les Schwab scoreboard has to say about the rest of the American League West. The Seattle can't seem to shake Houston. Houston continues to win. The Astros just a half game back. They beat Oakland 13-5. Evan Gattis became the first player in Houston history to collect 5 RBIs in back-to-back games. The Dodgers beat the Rangers in 11 innings and a walk-off throwing error by pitcher Matt Bush that allowed Enrique Hernandez to period his way around the tag at the home plate. He scored for third base on a bases-loaded comebacker by Austin Barnes. And there you go. That is sports at 29 minutes after the hour. We still got more sports to talk about. Of course, don't forget my guest in the second half of the show, PGA professional teaching pro Ed Payne will be joining me. All right, it's time for the obscure holiday of the day. Today it's June 14th. It's Flag Day. There's the old glory right there. Flag Day is celebrated on June 14th because it was on June 14th, 1777, that the flag of the United States, the resolution that this would be the flag, was passed by the Second Continental Congress. In 1916, Woodrow Wilson issued a proclamation that officially established June 14th as Flag Day. In August of 1949, National Flag Day was established by an act of Congress. Couple of interesting things about Flag Day. It is a state holiday in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the only state where it is a state holiday. So in Pennsylvania, there's no school, government offices enclosed, but only in Pennsylvania. And the oldest continuous Flag Day parade is in Fairfield, Washington. It began in either 1909 or 1910. They didn't do it in 1918 because of the war, but outside of that, they've been doing a Flag Day parade in Fairfield, Washington. Believe it or not, we'll have more about Flag Day during Today in History. And it's time for Today in History. Happy birthday to the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army is 243 years old today. June 14, 1775, the Continental Army is established by the Continental Congress. The United States Army considers this their birthday. Of course, there were 13 colonies, and each of the 13 colonies had their own militias. They had local militias and local troops. There was no centralized command. It was all kind of cattywampus. They were under the control of the individual states and not the federal government, as it were. And they thought this isn't going to work, so they said, let's get together. We'll start our own little army. We'll put George in charge, and George was put in charge. Of course, after the Treaty of Paris ended the war in 1783, the Continental Army disbanded. They all went back to their plows and their homes before they got back together again. The Army is 243 years old today. As we mentioned before, the United States flag is 241 years ago. That is the original United States flag as it was designated by Congress, June 14, 1777. The flag was designed by Francis Hopkinson. And this was the flag that was used from June 14, 1777, 241 years ago today, to May 1st, 1785, about 18 years. And then as states continued to join, there's more stars and more stripes. The Betsy Ross story is just that. It's a story. The Betsy Ross's family, 100 years after her death, started to spread the story that Betsy Ross sewed the first American flag. It simply isn't true, but it's a nice story. That, my friends, was the first flag. And finally, 16 years ago, that close in the world of space. Near-Earth asteroid 2002 MN misses the Earth by 75,000 miles. And that seems like a lot, but in the world of the galaxy, it was a really close miss. About 1/3 of the distance between Earth and the Moon. That is not to scale. It wasn't that big, but it came pretty close to giving the Earth a pretty good whack 16 years ago today. Whew, it was a close one. 32 minutes after the hour. Birthdays. Happy birthday to the President of the United States, the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, is 72 years old today. He was the oldest person, and is the oldest person ever to be elected to the presidency for his very first term. He, of course, as you know that. By far the wealthiest person ever to assume the presidency, the first person to assume the presidency without prior military or governmental service, the 5th president to have won the election while losing the popular vote, and he is the only president to have been divorced twice. Donald J. Trump is 72. Eric Heiden, the American speed skater and now physician, he is 60 years old today. An unprecedented 5 gold medals, individual gold medals, at the Lake Placid Olympics in 1980. The United States of America won 6 gold medals. The hockey team and Eric Heiden was responsible for the other 5, an unprecedented 5 gold medals. Eric Heiden, the greatest speed skater this country has ever produced, is 60 years old today. And speaking of great athletes, Steffi Graf is 49 years old today. In 1988, she had the career year. She won all 4 major tournaments and then the Olympic gold medal. They call it the Golden Slam. She is the only tennis player to win all 4 Grand Slam events at least 4 times. A remarkable achievement. Steffi Graf is 49 years old today. All right, 34 minutes after the hour. Everyone is entitled to Mike McDonough's opinion is right around the corner, plus my conversation with PGA professional Ed Payne. But before we get to that, let's find Jax the Kitty a home. It's time for Pet of the Week with Megan McPherson.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel, and we're here with Don Davies, the Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and we're here with Jax the Kitty,
Can you tell us about Jack?
Jack's the kitty is a lot of fun. He's just been cracking us up here. He's an adult cat. I'm guessing he's around 3 or 5 years old. He's been at the shelter here since the middle of April. He loves catnip, obviously. He loves to be brushed. So he's got a beautiful black coat on him, and he obviously loves his toys. So yeah, he would be a fun cat to have around. He's very playful.
And was Jack's a stray?
He came in as a stray the middle of May, about the 18th. Always very curious. And it's about that time of the year when we're getting more and more cats at the shelter because it is litter season. So the adults are fun to have around. Otherwise, we're kind of full of kittens right now.
And if someone wanted to adopt Jack's, what should they do?
Come down to the Humane Society at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue. We're open from 11 to 6 Monday through Friday, and 11 to 3 on Saturday and Sunday. You can also call us 662-9577.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This is Megan McPherson, and that's our Pet of the Week from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
Join the NCW Life channel for live coverage of the commencement ceremonies for Westside High School June 14th and Wenatchee Valley College June 15th. Coverage brought to you by
the Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Outdoor Seating in Leavenworth. Young Bucks Landscaping, save a buck. And by Columbia Valley Community Health with 9 locations in North Central Washington.
Celebrate with the Class of 2018 live on your local TV station, NCW Life channel, and ncwlife.com.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your stoke?
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Walk and Roll Wenatchee's Asian Express is fast, fresh food. Wenatchee Roll's new Poke Hawaiian Fresh Salad Bar is the best. Fresh greens, fresh seafood, and handmade sauces. You know what you want. At Walk and Roll, create your own style meal. Hot off the line chicken, beef, and veggie plates. Lunch or dinner to match your appetite. Fresh sushi, hot entrees, Poke Fresh Salad Bar. It's new. It's Walk and Roll Wenatchee, fast, fresh food your way. Located on 5th and Mission.
It's golf the way it should be at the Kaler Glen Golf and Ski Resort at beautiful Lake Wenatchee. With water, wildlife, towering pines, their signature driving range, and lush green grass, you don't have to be good to play Kaler Glen, just be prepared to have fun. And the Kaler Glen Golf Special is the way to do just that. On Wednesdays, you can golf 18 holes with a cart for just $25. It's the NCW Life Channel Special, exclusively at the Kaler Glen Golf and Ski Resort.
The NCW Life Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's Learn, Guada TV, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Like many of the Christian faith, I have strong feelings about abortion. But as someone who tries to express their Christianity with compassion, I understand that abortion is not a black and white issue. No, it's not. Rather than getting all hot and bothered about how wrong abortion is, how about considering the desperate circumstances of a young woman in an untenable situation which puts her in a place where abortion becomes a viable option? Or consider a woman of any age whose circumstances are so deplorable that taking such a step is something she's willing to consider. Now, sure, there are people for whom abortion is merely a convenience. I'm not talking about those folks. I'm talking about people who might better benefit from our love and mercy than our judgment. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Join the NCW Life channel for live coverage of the commencement ceremonies for Westside High School June 14th and Wenatchee Valley College June 15th. Coverage brought to you by
Charter College. We work to get you to work. Hometown Hearing across from the mall on Valley Mall Parkway. And by Leonard Evans Used Cars Superstore, where the name means a great deal.
Celebrate with the Class of 2018 live on your local TV station, NCW Life channel, and ncwlife.com.
Yamaha ATVs and side-by-side vehicles are proven off-road. Designed, engineered, and tested in the real world, they provide the best balance of off-road capability, comfort, and confidence, delivering performance that is truly proven off-road.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
Family means something in these parts. Family owned and operated means even more. At Rose Tractor, you're buying more than a product. You're buying years of knowledge through multiple generations. It means you can count on Rose for quality products, quality repairs, and folks who stand behind the products they sell. From your job site to your home, to rentals and repairs, to new outdoor power equipment, Rose Tractor is growing with you throughout the years. Rose Tractor, quality brands you can trust year after year.
And we're back on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. My guest today is probably the best known local golf celebrity around here, which isn't really saying much. Yeah, he's been my friend for many, many years. He is a PGA teaching professional, and the Golfer's Edge has a new home. We're going to talk about that and a whole bunch of stuff. It's a good walk spoiled with my friend Ed Payne. How are you, Ed?
Good morning. I'm doing good. Thank you.
It's good to see you. We have a lot of things to talk about, but let's get to the number one topic at hand for golfers this weekend. The United States Open is underway at Shinnecock Hills in Long Island, New York, about 50 miles due east of New York City. I got the leaderboard right now. Hold tight just a minute. I think Matt Kuchar is currently leading at -2. Ian Poulter is also a -2, I should add, and others. U.S. Open is my favorite tournament.
Masters is mine.
Yeah. Well, you can't play in the Masters. They're never going to invite you.
I know.
The U.S. Open, for those of you who don't know, if you have a handicap of 1.4 or less, you can qualify. You can go through the qualifying process. It's a long, drawn-out process, but as long as you keep winning and keep qualifying, you can play in the United States Open.
Yes,
it's the Open Championship.
That's why people like it.
Did you ever go for it? Did you ever?
I never did.
You never did.
Never did.
Your handicap was at one point 1.4 below, right?
+1.
+1.
Was
so
my
you would
best.
have been able to do it. But
Yeah,
you
yes.
just not interested, not enough time?
You know, you got to have a game to go do that, and it's a different game at that level.
It is a different game at that
And
level.
being a +1 in Wenatchee, Washington is not the same as being a +1 in America.
That's true.
And
yeah.
so it was, I had a decent game, but no, I never gave it that shot. You know, my biggest things were Northwest Opens, you know, with our section, and Washington State Opens and stuff like that. That was my biggest gamble.
How about the Senior Open? You qualify for the. You just
definitely
turned 50,
qualify for the senior.
Yeah,
I'm over 50 now. Yeah, that's for sure.
No interest in that either.
I don't see what this new change that we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
I might go work on my game a little bit more, and we'll see.
Yeah, it seems kind of
funny. They got super seniors, too, as you get older.
Outside of your occasional Monday Northwest Pro-Am, you don't really get a chance to play as much as you used to.
I haven't, now with the store, with Tanya and I. It took a lot of our time.
Yeah. But Tanya is probably real happy about
this. She's getting there. It was emotional after 10 years, but it was... starting to hike more and getting her life a little bit more in order is good for her.
We're going to talk about all that good stuff about Ed's new relationship with the friends up at the Highlander. U.S. Open is underway. Who do you like? Is there any particular golfer you're keeping an eye on?
What I like is the number of people that have a chance. There's people that want Tigers, people that want Ricky Fowler. There's, and it's just there's not one person that I just want to see it on Sunday. I don't want to see somebody with an 8-shot lead.
You don't want that.
I don't want that. I want to see it right to the end. Where it's like when Corey Pavin hit the 4-wood.
Yeah.
You don't see those days anymore. And especially from a player like that, from 208. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes to hear somebody have to hit a 4-wood from 208. I'm going, hey, I can do that. So that was kind of nice to see that or remember that.
What about Phil?
Phil would be fun.
This is the only major that Phil has not won. If he wins it, he gets the career Grand Slam. For those of you who don't know, Phil Mickelson has finished second in the United States Open 6 times. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
6 times runner-up.
He's 48.
He's 48, and that would make him the oldest winner, I don't believe, ever in the Open.
I think so too. So time not running out, but it's definitely getting short.
There are 16 ways to qualify for the U.S. Open, and guess what? Tiger Woods had one deal.
That's right.
His 10-year, because the last time he won the Open was 10 years ago, and you get a 10-year exemption if you win the Open. And if he didn't have that from 10 years ago, he would have to go through the qualifiers.
Yes, he would.
They would have given him a special exemption.
Probably would have done that.
So
that's true. That's very true. This is his last time.
So I like Tiger's chances as well, but I'm picking Ricky Fowler. I'm going to go with Ricky. Do you know anything about Shinnecock Hills besides the fact that it's tough?
Other than the time I watched it that one time in number 7.
Yeah. I know I've asked you on the air before about what your favorite golf course is. For those of you who don't know, you mentioned it once. Your favorite golf course, where you had the most amount of fun. The best, the right balance of challenge and yet.
Well, my favorite's always been the Wenatchee Golf and Country Club because it's tree lined, it's old school, and you couldn't just take the driver out all the time and rip it. And this day and age, with the length of people, it's hard to play that. I played course management from day one. I learned from the hole out. I didn't have a driver in my hand for the first 2 months I started golf, back when I was 15, 16 years old.
That's the way you do it.
And I could chip and putt.
And if you can chip and putt anywhere, but especially at the club, you're going to shoot okay because the greens at the club are just
They're tough.
They're tough.
They make the course tough.
Yeah, I have to. Whenever I play the country club, I have to play with a member or somebody who's played a lot because I can't read those greens. So once I'm on the green, I'm just lost.
Everything goes to the river.
Yeah. Is that for somebody who's looking to get into golf, new to it, be it just as somebody who might be interested in it as an adult or a kid? Is that your first piece of advice? Start from the hole and work your way back to the tee?
I think that's the easiest way to learn because you get instant success. You make 1-foot putts, 2-foot putts, then you grab a wedge and start chipping, and then you go out 50 yards and hit little chip shots, and then you start getting into the full swing. That's one way. Excuse me. That's one way that I go about it, depending on the person.
Harvey Pennick's Little Red Book, which was a huge bestseller many years ago. It's a must-read for golfers out there.
Yes.
His advice for beginning golfers, he said, don't take them to a golf course, don't teach them the grip, don't teach them the stance. Just take them to a driving range and just let them hit golf balls.
Let them hit golf balls.
And if they like the physical act of striking a golf ball with a club, then you get into the more detailed part. But if they don't like doing it, there's no point in going any further.
Correct.
So
that's so true. Because they gotta like the swing, they gotta like the feel.
You gotta like the sport.
You gotta like the sport, and it takes a person that has that personality, and luckily there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah. Are you worried about the future of golf? And we're going to talk about some of the rules of golf, some of the changes. They've made some significant changes, the R&A and the USGA, and we're going to talk about that in just a couple of minutes. And the idea behind these changes, that they themselves are worried about the popularity of golf. In today's world, playing a round of golf is a 4-hour commitment. Minimum. It can be an expensive sport to pick up. And in today's video game, overwhelming with all kinds of stuff out there for the younger generation, that they're worried that golf is just not going to be
Time. It's
They're
time.
ripping up golf courses. Golf
It's
courses are
time.
closing. They're not opening. Are you worried about it? Or are you okay?
To a point, yes, I am, because it's a time commitment, and with families now and year-round sports, and you know, in my era it was you played 3 sports.
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, that's it. Nobody said, no, you're going to play this one year round. It wasn't back in the 60s and 70s. And so you had a lot of choices, more playing wise. And now it's time, and young families, and they don't want they don't want to be away from that for 4 hours, and not everybody's included all the time. So now you see the 9-hole initiatives, and you see golf courses where they have 3- and 6-hole initiatives.
Sure.
Where you can go out for an hour and a half after work, and you can be done, have dinner, and go home. You know, so you see a lot of that going in.
And also, there's a couple of courses that one of the big things we're starting to do now is bigger holes.
Right.
You know, they're actually, they have 2 holes on any green, and you can play to a larger hole.
Yeah, that 4 1/4 inch hole is the devil once in a while.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Some of the significant changes of the rules of golf that went into effect this year, there's a number of them.
There are.
What do you approve, disapprove? All of it is designed to make the game funner.
I like to see the rule book become like 5 pages someday.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge, and it's hard to dissect. And for the average person, you only need to know, 2 or 3 of them. But the lateral rule I like. You know,
explain to our viewers.
Well, you used to couldn't touch the ground for anything, but now you can touch the ground. You get loose impediments out of the way. Your club can be sold, and now you don't have to. Hey, you touched the ground.
Right.
That's 1 shot, and you can see that playing tournament golf, and so it's just that's a nice relief there. And then the dropping of the ball, you don't have, the old way we talked about over your shoulder. Now it's just knee high, and they just want a little air underneath it, so you're not placing it.
Being able to ground your club in a hazard is to me probably the biggest one.
It's huge. I think that's huge, because everybody's I can't do that, and then they go, hey, that blade of grass moved. I said, yeah, but you're just taking your backswing. So now you don't have to come in to make that ruling, especially in pro-ams and stuff like that.
And almost every golfer now is going to go ahead and fork over the money, and they're going to have that little so you
the
can shoot at the flag, the
yeah.
rangefinder, which a lot of people think it is unsporting. But unless there is a specific rule against it at that particular club or course or tournament, you can use those now in regular score play.
Exactly. I do it all the time.
So
I like having that number.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like to have that exact number.
But I don't really care about the rangefinder. I use the GPS watch, because I'm old school. I look at the flag at the front, middle, back, and I get the yardage to the middle, and I still do my own calculations.
I do too. I feel better.
I do. I feel like I'm more focused on the game.
And now, of course, they have apps on your phone.
Oh yeah.
And almost every golf course is at it.
Right.
You just take the phone out with you, and it just gives you a GPS thing right then and
right.
there.
Yeah.
So, Ed Payne is my guest today. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, changes are afoot for the golfer's age, and it's all good. More with Ed Payne when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Anchi Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Join the NCW Life channel for live coverage of the commencement ceremonies for Westside High School June 14th and Wenatchee Valley College June 15th. Coverage brought to you by
Charter College. We work to get you to work. Hometown Hearing across from the mall on Valley Mall Parkway. And by Leonard Evans Used Cars Superstore, where the name means a great deal.
Celebrate with the Class of 2018 live on your local TV station, NCW Life channel, and ncwlife.com.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. The Wenatchee River Bluegrass Festival is happening June 15th to June 17th at the Chelan County Expo Center in Cashmere. Kickstart your summer with the music of superstar bluegrass bands. Joe Harris Basketball Camp is June 15th to June 16th in Chelan. Camp instruction will feature current professional player Joe Harris and top collegiate athletes from the Pacific Northwest. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
Yamaha ATVs and side-by-side vehicles are proven off-road. Designed, engineered, and tested in the real world, they provide the best balance of off-road capability, comfort, and confidence, delivering performance that is truly proven off-road.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
And we're back with Ed Payne, PGA Tour professional. Before we talk about the Golfer's Edge, a quick little story that I want to tell Ed. It was a golf epiphany for me. About 10 years ago, a bunch of us went and played Chambers Bay. One of the great golf courses in this country, and you need to play it because this is a day's drive away and it's worth every penny. Chambers Bay and University Place. And we played the front nine, and we're at the hot dog shack, and we're grabbing a couple of cold beers and a hot dog. And we had a caddy because you need to have a caddy. And the caddy was keeping track of the scores of the three. It was a threesome and the caddy. And of course, the guy goes, well, what do we shoot? And the caddy looks at us kind of funny. You know, he kind of scratches his head. He goes, what do you mean? He says, well, what do we shoot? And he pulls this receipt out, you know, for being our caddy because we had paid him in advance. He goes, according to our records, you're playing 18 holes. Well, yeah. He goes, so what do you care? Why don't I tell you what you shoot after 6 or 12? I said, you're playing 18 holes. I'm not going to tell you what you shot after 9. Doesn't matter. You're playing 18. And I went, boing. And from that point forward, and I've played a lot of rounds of golf since then, I never ask what I shot after 9. Because you make the turn, you take a break, and it's just kind of a natural thing. Where am I?
That's right.
And from that point forward, I have never asked what I shot after 9 holes.
Very
I
good.
don't even add them up.
Very good.
So I'm very proud about that. All right, we got about 3 minutes left. The transition. Golfer's Edge to the Highlander. Tell me about the process. When did you and Tanya start thinking about this? You started thinking about winding down a little bit?
February 2016.
A little over 2.5 years ago.
2017, excuse
okay,
me.
so about a year and a half ago.
Year and a half ago. And we started talking with the boys at the Highlander. They came over to our place and
they just
brought
dropped
up
in
the
out of the
idea.
blue?
They called me and said they wanted to hit balls.
Okay.
Said we have something else to talk about. And so they came in and we started talking about it. And so I got Tanya and I thinking about it, so we went home and thought about it. And then they made a nice offer, and they're making me feel very comfortable there now, and we closed down the shop officially last Friday.
Yeah, I saw you loading the last of the stuff
that's
out.
right.
Yeah.
I had a good little crew.
Yeah.
So it's just, it took us 12 hours to take down the simulator and crate it up and take it over there, and so it's been a nice process. Now 10 years of stuff in my shop it looks like a little hurricane that's hit it, but it's up and running again, and I started booking lessons this week.
So the Highlander, to their credit, to their great credit, they built a large annex off the pro shop.
It is
we have a photo of it. Go ahead and bring that up,
It
Kat.
is the Taj Mahal.
Look at that. That is just lovely.
There's two in there, and it's beautiful. And I've been teaching in there all week, and I've already had 8-9 lessons this week, and when I was going to take a couple of weeks off, and I didn't. So it's beautiful in there, and it's going to be great in the wintertime. It's just there's going to be some more variety in there where you can have a party, you can bring a group in, and the way they're doing it is just excellent.
And for you, as a teaching professional, the only thing for you, for lessons are concerned, you just moved locations.
I moved locations, and my shop moved back to my shop on my property, on our property.
So you're still going to do custom repairs and custom fittings and all that stuff?
I want to build further than North Central Washington. And with Highlander now, you can drop off at Highlander, you can give us a call, because our name stayed the same and our number stayed the same.
What happened to that little cutout cardboard golfer out in front of your place on Mission?
That's a wrought iron thing that was built.
Where is it?
It's going to be right in the corner where our shop is.
Okay, because I've been bidding on that on eBay, so apparently that's not it.
Is it up to 15,000 yet? That's actually a picture of my son, his junior year in golf. Taking a state, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
That's
it's staying with us.
So a new home, and that means for Tanya, his lovely wife, who ran Tanya's Corner, was the golf clothing thing. She gets to actually go out and enjoy life now.
And she does. She worked her. I mean, she had a clientele. She built it up. She as good as anybody I've seen in the retail business, and she knew what to do. But it's just time for her to really take the foot off the accelerator. And as long as I walked in the shop, she did too.
And now you get to call pretty much your own hours. You don't have to worry about unlocking the door.
I set up my own lessons, and now I can go indoors or outdoors. So what the people want, I have more variety. I can go onto the course one if they like, or we're in the. I love the simulator for club data. So yeah, I set my own hours, and then club repairs. You call us up, or you drop at the Highlander.
Well, I'm glad you have a new home, and I'm glad you finally get to enjoy
a little bit more
of life. But I'm going to miss the old place
Yeah,
next door.
It was a
lot of good times.
A few tears were shed.
I bet they were. And it's always good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Take care. And just everything else is the same. His email address is still the same, propane@nwi.net. Everything else is still the same. Just a new home.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks so much. Yes, thank you.
All right, everybody. That goes for everybody. Take care. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.